Hey, what's up, guys? Just making a quick response video. Had quite a number of comments there on that first video I posted, and had a great comment just around the process. How I introduce the livestock. Right. I'm about 5.5 to 6 weeks in. Right, and so initially, as I said, I did. I'll kind of just describe the process. Line the bed sand. It's carob sea, live sand. These are not actual live rock, the purple guys. They're, I think they're covered in bacteria. They're, I think, coral life rocks. Again, I'll try to link these things so that you guys know. And then these type of rock, that's actual live rock. I bought that at the fish store. So initially I just had the sand, the rocks, and I introduced inverts. So these Mexican red legs, again, mix the water and all that. Check the salinity, right? So the guys at the saltwater place, I probably overpaid for this. You guys can tell me, but it's like a Cybon salinity refractometer. So they said this was like, I don't know, it cost me like 85 bucks Canadian. You could probably get cheaper ones on Amazon, but they were like, this is like what you want to be using, right? This is what you want to be using. Essentially how it works is you put a drop on where it says the prism cover there, on that side right there, and then essentially it gives you the salinity, and we want to be between 1.20 and 1.25. The blue line shows up when you look at it in the light. And so anyways, I did make sure salinity was good before I put anything in, and did the stock, what do you call it, sponge. Just put the Biomax in, right? Like, so like wanted these guys, right? But the one that came with the tank, because the tanks do come. I actually bought this one, didn't need it. And put the bacteria starter in, right? And I'll have to link the bacteria starter that I used, but actually I have it right here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I didn't even use the whole bottle. I just followed the instructions. Use like, it tells you like how much you need to use based on how big your tank is. So it was micro bacter start XLM. So anyways, I'll link that too. And I kind of trusted that bacteria because it's supposed to establish like the healthy colony of bacteria. So it's supposed to speed up the nitrogen cycle. So some folks will do like no livestock cycle. They'll wait the full 30 days. They'll feed it food. They'll allow the nitrogen cycle to take place. I'll let you guys read about that so you can feed it like regular food. I fed it a little bit, but I let the invertebrates do their thing. And as I said, I used the bacteria starter, and that kind of sped up the cycle. So the next question that was asked in my OG original first post was, well, how soon did you add? And so inverts and then one clown. And then again, before putting them in, I got one of these tests, a nitrate test, because my guru buddy in the aquarium hobby said, start with that if you want to keep it on the cheap, save some money, and do a phosphate test. So I ran through those two tests, and I'll make another video on how to do that, how to actually use those. Essentially, you get a color, you align it with the chart. If the levels are low enough, you're good. So I put in a fish in probably about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks in. After that, I added a second clown. Okay, so we're 3 weeks in. I had the second clown in. For some folks, that might be too fast. You guys can let me know in the comments whether that's way too crazy to be adding too much stuff in. As I said, I had the inverts and the clowns. After that came the pistol and the goby. And then the cleaner shrimp, which we see back there, right? Like the pistol's hiding away. Right now, I'm starting to see some like crud there along the back. The conch snails, those were amongst the first. So those were like with the inverts, right? Like this little guy there on the wall, that guy, he was like one of our, like, I hate to say test subject. And then I added a single zoa, which is, let me just see if I can get that. Oop. So that zoa, and then that yellow one down there, and then came this like cool greenish mushroom thing. So as I said, by week 5 we had all of that stuff in there. Now the next thing, I got a Hygger mini cleaning kit coming, so I'm going to use that to like clean up these edges and make sure no crud. As I said, this guy went in probably around like 4 to 5 weeks, this torch. But the one thing I did, guys, with the exception of the torch and the mushrooms and the zoa, I did acclimatize everything. Like, I took my time. I spent 45 to 60 minutes acclimatizing the livestock. So I would drip in and slowly add the tank water and mix it into what they were already in there. I let the bag sit in here so the temperature would be the same. The other thing I did around week 2 was I added in copepods. So that's supposed to establish copepods. We'll have to look this up, guys. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but they kind of dig themselves in the sand beds. They're a form of like live food. Like, my wife has these like little sea monkey things. I think they're the same thing. They were like these sea monkey kits from like the 70s. But anyways, we put them in, and when we put them in, you could see them floating around. Now, I see stuff floating around. It's very hard to see. I'm not sure if that's sand or if they've managed to reproduce. I think the ones I got were called tiger pods. But anyways, when I go to the aquarium shop, I'll post a video of those. So I think all of those things in combination, like not doing frequent water changes. Like, see, the one thing about the Fluval, these all-in-ones, it's really cool. It has a water line. So when you get the salinity of your tank established, you got to just kind of keep an eye on the water line. And the one thing that's different is to maintain that salinity, you got to top up water. Now, I don't have a fancy top up. I'm doing it old school. Like, my one buddy that's experienced, he says to me, no, you need automatic stuff. Like, you don't want to be like doing stuff by hand. But you know what? I just grab a cup of water, room temperature, put it in here. I mean, if you want to be like really paranoid, you got to heat your water. When I did my first water change just the other day, I did heat the water like to the same temperature, right? 78 degrees. Again, I'm using, you can see it down here. It's like a Hygger, it says 78 there. A Hygger, like a small little heater. And again, I keep it in the rear chamber. Some guys are saying to keep it in chamber 1. So there's 3 chambers here, right? You can kind of see them. So the return pump, the auto return pump is in that chamber. My sponge is here. And I believe, actually I did manage to get the heater in the back chamber there. And then these things are magnetic. Like, I had never used a wave maker. I actually have it off. And one of these days I'll turn it on so you guys can see. You want to get sand. One recommendation would be you want to get sand that's heavy enough that it's not going to get blown around. Because when we turn this wave maker on, if I had like an anemone, which I want to get, it's recommended, I heard, between 3 and 6 months, they need flow. So initially when I put the clowns in, as I said, they tend to surf along this corner of the tank. Up and down, up and down. So it had me freaked out that I'm like, oh, maybe something's happening. And again, I think the other thing too is they take time to bond. So like anything, if you were in a new environment, you'd probably be uncomfortable. So once you establish, once you're comfortable, then you're more at ease. And so fish are the same in that sense, right? Like, we can't stress them out. So the less you do to stress them out, the higher chances of success you're going to have, right? So acclimatize your fish, feed them once or twice a day, don't overfeed them, make sure their salinity is good, clean their tank, change the water, when, you want to get ahead of things, right? As I said, I have some darkness forming, and like today I ordered that Hygger kit on Amazon, and I'm going to take care of that. The one thing I did with my first water change, I should say, I just changed the water. I didn't actually change the sponge. I know a lot more experienced guys out there, they'll do mods to the tank. So they'll often change the output nozzles. So you can order those things on Etsy. They have chamber compartments, so you don't have to have the sponge. You can put your biomedia in there along with, you know, filter floss or other things that might make it easier to work on your tank. Now, I mean, again, I live in a smaller place, but I'll kind of show you guys. I picked up this cabinet from Amazon. Again, I'll link it if you guys are interested. It has like it came with a little remote and light strip. You can like turn on the light strip underneath, which is pretty good. But again, it contains everything pretty nicely. And yeah, as I said, I mean, you know, you got to do what works for you. I know these things all in with everything in it weighs about 130 pounds. And so the reason I bought the stand, I would have probably just put it on my kitchen counter, but I didn't want things sinking. So that's the reason I went with a stand. It kind of just easier to deal with. Again, yeah, my wife wasn't too happy just because I kind of just brought the tank in. I probably should have talked to her about it. But anyways, that's a different story. But, you know, all in all, it's worked out okay. Like the only thing I wish was that there was a little bit more distance between the television and this, because I know that some folks put in protein skimmers and they'll actually take this thing off. Some may go bare lid. I don't do that because I've heard, even with freshwater, I've had livestock jump out. But you can get a flat top if you do change your light. Let's say like the light died on you. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty neat. Like for an all-in-one tank, I paid 210 Canadian dollars. I think you can get these things on Amazon. They cost roughly, I don't know, it's probably around like 180 bucks US, maybe 190 USD. But for an all-in-one, that's, you know, you can have water in this thing fully set up. Like the setup takes like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And then just to get the water in, if you have a proper siphon and everything and water going, you can probably get it all ready in about an hour. Again, the hardest part about the hobby, in my opinion, would be just rounding up all the supplies that you need, right? Sand, rocks, aquarium, waiting for it all to come, unboxing it, setting it up. I probably should have recorded that so you guys could have seen, but it really wasn't that hard. It's just more around buying all the things, putting them aside, and then making the time to think about where you're actually going to situate your aquarium. Is it going to be in a dark place? Is it going to be near windows? You want to minimize, you know, light coming in through windows because that leads to more algae. But that said, I have lots of windows in this place. Natural light does hit it. I don't run my lights all the time. You know, that's one thing I would say as well that I was told was like the first month, don't run your lights all the time. I often just keep the blue light on. The fish, apparently, it doesn't impact them. Or I don't have it on at all. I have my windows open and natural light hits. But it's all about controlling that ugly stage, right? Like if you're seeing a lot of brown, you got to clean your tank. Like something's not going right. So like my one friend says, it's about maintaining stability and creating that ecosystem that's really going to work for your pets in the long term, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. My son, he wants to add things in, and I'm like, we have to go slow, right? If we're going to get more coral, let's stick to the easy ones, the softies first, right? And as we get more experience in the hobby and avoid problems, then we can add the more complicated ones. But at any rate, guys, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any comments or any questions, do leave them in the comments. Have a great day. Thanks so much.